First speaker for Novacon, Shri Vivek Kumar. Shri Vivek Kumar belongs to the 1990 batch of the Indian Administrative Service. In a career spanning 34 years, he has served in wide-ranging administrative assignments from the sub-district level to the national and international levels. In the state government, he has held 10 departments including higher education, health and family welfare, information and culture, environment, forests, animal resource development, minority affairs, land and land reforms, etc. He has been awarded the Chief Minister's Medal for outstanding public service. He is also a recipient of the state government's Rajya Sangeet Samman for his contribution in the field of music. Currently, he is serving as Additional Chief Secretary to the Department of ARD, Government of West Bengal. Please, with a round of applause, would you welcome Shri Vivek Kumar to deliver his speech.
So, I welcome all the delegates, esteemed guests, participants, business persons, stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. On stage with me are my senior esteemed colleagues from the Department of Animal Resources Development, Government of West Bengal. Dr. Professor Purnendu Vishwas, the chairman of Novacon, and Mr. Madan Maiti, who is the chairman of the Kolkata International Poultry Fair and the general secretary of the West Bengal Poultry Federation. My officers from the department, ladies and gentlemen, I am very happy to be with you. The Kolkata International Poultry Fair has now become a very prominent event on the national map, on the national poultry map of India. It has become an event that is genuinely looked forward to by all stakeholders. But I have always told Mr. Madan Maiti and all my my colleagues that the most important part of this fair is Novacon. We are all aware that technology today is moving at a fast pace, and those who keep abreast with the latest technologies in any sector will be the ones that lead the world. Poultry, animal husbandry, I mean, these are professions or these are livelihood options that go back thousands of years. But those who master the latest technological developments will be the leaders of animal husbandry. So, thank you very much for continuously improving Novacon. I was seeing the list of speakers today, and I'm very happy that some very distinguished people have joined us today to share with us their knowledge, their skills, their expertise on where this poultry sector is headed now and what the opportunities and challenges are. I was seeing Dr. Stephanie Lemaire is going to speak on science behind the shield, vaccination strategy and serological evaluation in poultry. Mr. T. Srinithi will be speaking on turning waste into worth, circular solutions in poultry farming. Dr. Shukla was just talking about the circular economy. Dr. Mahesh P.S. will be talking, he's of course the Joint Commissioner and Director, Center of Excellence for Animal Husbandry, Government of India, located in Bengaluru. He will be speaking on poultry marketing in transition, eggs, live birds, processed products in the new era. Mr. Tommy Lim, who's from Big Dutchman. Big Dutchman has set up some plants for us. I thank you. So this is another success story I want to share with you, that our tendering process and our procurement processes are so clean that even a government department like us can have Big Dutchman as a successful tenderer, and they have set up the poultry farms for us. We have the best of European technology set up in West Bengal, thanks to the clean business models and procedures that we are following. Dr. S.S. Nadgowda will be speaking Feeding for Finesse, the Science of Precision Nutrition in layer farms. Professor Manik Chandra Pakhira, who's from our own University of Animal and Fishery Sciences, will speak on hatchability under the lens, science-driven strategies for better chicks. This is the happening place in the International Poultry Fair. And why I say this again and again, in fact, I have been attending this Novacon session because I firmly believe that West Bengal must be in the forefront of research and development, and forefront in the development and adoption of the latest global best practices so that we can lead and continue to improve the poultry sector in West Bengal. The poultry sector in West Bengal has been a success story. You will read about it and hear about it in the coming few days. We were an egg importing state just 4 years ago. There has been a massive infusion of funding in public sector, private sector, social sector, backyard sector, such that today we are not only the 4th largest producer of eggs, and we are very close to being the number 2 in fact. I hope that in the next survey of Government of India, we should be able to achieve the 2nd position. And all that has been possible because of the political vision, political leadership shown by the government, state government, and as a teamwork that we all have put together. So, West Bengal is the largest producer of meat products in the country. We are the largest producer of meat products in the country. We contribute 12.46% of all meat produced in India. We contribute 10.7% of all eggs produced in India. We have the fastest growth rate in egg and chicken production in India. Broiler production surplus has been nearly 40%. In fact, now we export nearly 40% of chicken produced in our state. The per capita egg consumption is 124 eggs per year, which is above the national average of 106. Our per capita meat consumption is 9.71 kgs per year, much above the national average of 7.51. About 70% of the poultry consumption comes from rural areas of the state. This is significant. We have about 491 large poultry establishments across poultry, layer and breeder segments. Our poultry feed production is continuously increasing, and we produce 9.65 million metric tons annually, with surplus being exported to other states now. The poultry sector now provides employment to about 16 lakh people. Small and marginal farmers form the backbone of the backyard sector. As we look into the future, our poultry sector will remain a key driver of nutrition security, employment and economic growth. How have we made this possible? Unlike some other states where the bulk of the investment came from the private sector, in West Bengal we have a very interesting model where the public sector and the social sector is as important as the private sector. So in the last 4 years, we have pumped in about 800 crore rupees under the RIDF scheme in the poultry sector. We have set up state-of-the-art, Big Dutchman has set up one of them, we have set up state-of-the-art environmentally controlled commercial layer farms, and each one of these farms has a capacity of 2,40,000 birds. Now this is something, this capital infusion has transformed the sector. Private sector alongside has played a very important role, and there the West Bengal Poultry Federation plays a very important role. So there are about 170 units poultry farms which have come up in the state in the last few years, and the state government has provided financial incentives and subsidies amounting to 34 crore rupees in the last few years. The backyard sector, which is essentially rural women and self-help groups, produce 56% of all eggs produced in the state. And this is where we think we are proud of our model, where not just the private sector in a mechanized mode produce large-scale eggs, but it is the backyard sector where rural women are seeing this activity improve them economically, and their economic empowerment is taking place. Self-help groups have been chosen to be the egg brooders for and the brooders for supply of chicks and ducklings to the rural areas. All our brooding is done by self-help groups of women. And of course, the private sector knows better than me the integration model, where we supply a chick, we supply the medicines, we supply the feed to a farmer, and 30 days later we collect it from his doorstep and take it to our factories. This has now spread into 17 districts of the state and is a model that is bringing rural prosperity on a new level. Now, the first question that people ask me is, why is the public sector investing? Why, as state government, we have invested in some very, very state-of-the-art infrastructure? A lot of people ask me, this is something that could best be left to the private sector. Why should these scarce resources of the government be put into poultry farms? Question, good question. My answer to that is that sometimes the state has to become a technology demonstrator. To take poultry to the next level, as I was just saying, where we adopt the latest technologies of Europe, we need to demonstrate technology to the private sector. Before the private sector builds the first rocket or the first dam, they must be able to see that a dam or a rocket has been built by the state and that it is possible. So that is the first reason why we have invested 800 crores in state-of-the-art commercial layer farms. 2, we also want to be part of the pricing signaling mechanism in the state. So there is this question issued or asked, does the state intervene in the pricing of eggs? And our answer is no. We don't interfere in the pricing of eggs. But what we do want to do is to keep sending a small signal to the private sector or to the market at large that there is a normative price for egg for each season. And when the West Bengal Livestock Development Corporation, which produces these eggs from the state sector, when it fixes the price of its egg produced in one of our farms, we are indirectly sending a signal to the market that this ought to be the price in the market. That is all. We just send a signal through the egg produced in our farms. And the private sector knows that there is nothing to worry because the state's contribution, the state sector's contribution to the production of eggs in the state is less than 5%. So we don't control the market. We don't intend to control the market. We are very happy with the private sector taking the lead and the backyard sector taking the lead. But we do need to be a player in the market to take care of contingencies and to be also sending pricing signals to the private sector. One interesting thing that we have been able to do in the last 4 years is that you must have all heard of KCC. And this KCC is a scheme where the agriculturist is given some financial subsidies or financial assistance through schemes of Government of India, state government, under the overall mandate provided by the Reserve Bank of India. In the last 4 years, under the KCC animal husbandry sector, in fact, it has been started in the last 4 years only. Earlier on, we didn't have this scheme. So KCC-AH, animal husbandry, we have been able to provide working capital to small and marginal farmers in the poultry sector. My emphasis is that in the state, while the private sector has set up the large farms, where the state has set up the large technology demonstrator farms, the small and marginal farmer, the self-help group, the backyard sector is also robust, and a total of 1100 crores have been disbursed to this sector in the last 4 years. 1100 crore, where the scheme size is very small. These schemes are so small that the average packet size is just 45,000 rupees. The working capital requirement of poultry is very small. And if they can get about 45,000 rupees on an average, it helps them to sustain their business. And if one cycle they can do well, then as we said, circular economy, the whole cycle, business cycle sets into motion. So 1100 crores of financial support through KCC-AH to marginal and small farmers. I will now try to just highlight some of the challenges that we are facing. And I am really at the macro level. As an administrator, I see and I deal with some challenges. You being part of the industry, I'm sure you are more aware of these, so I will not take much time on them. First is bird health. I think the first challenge that this industry faces is bird health. We have seen avian influenza in different parts of the world, in different parts of the country. Just 2 days ago, there was an outbreak of avian influenza in Andhra Pradesh. Every time even a single bird dies from avian influenza in any part of the country, it sets alarm bells across the country and across the world. It spreads very fast, and we know that there is no solution. Once it spreads, culling is the only solution. And for us to lose millions of birds over a period of few days is devastating, and for the small and marginal farmer, it is even more devastating. So as an industry, as a sector, I think the first thing that we need to talk about is bird health. And last year, in fact, there were many outbreaks of avian influenza in the US and in Europe. And we know what happened to the price of eggs internationally. We are aware of what happened. The eggs became 10 times their price in some markets. That will happen if avian influenza is not checked, and therefore breakthroughs in scientific studies, research and development such that our birds can be made more robust and more immune to the various strains of the virus. Enhanced biosecurity. As we move up in scale, you can have a farm of 10 birds, not a farm, you can have a backyard sort of facility of 10 to 100 birds. You can have small farms, you can have large farms, and like I just said, we have mega farms where we have 250,000 birds under a single shed. That opens our eyes and tells us of the importance of biosecurity. Now, I am the head of the department, and I am well aware that I just can't walk into the farm simply because I want to, or the way I am. There is a very strong laid down protocol which I have to follow before I can even enter the outer gates of the farm. This education among administrators, among farm managers, among the other stakeholders, farm owners, especially the small farmer, this public awareness, this continuous education, conscientization of the sector about the importance of biosecurity measures. Food safety, of course, comes immediately after that, but it starts with biosecurity. So as a department and as a sector, I think we have a challenge in front of us. Our education of the small farmer regarding biosecurity needs to be continuously done over the coming few years. Antibiotics in the food chain. Don't want to talk much about it. You will talk more about it a little later. I just want to say that I consume 2 eggs every day, and I've been doing that for the last 10 years. Some doctors used to say, or some still say that, avoid cholesterol, etc. But I am a living example standing in front of you. I have consumed 2 eggs every day, 365 days of a year for the last 10 years. And my question every day when I have my egg in the morning is, इसमें antibiotics तो नहीं है? So my question to my West Bengal Livestock Development Corporation was very simple. I said the private sector will follow, they will come. The public sector has to demonstrate that we use no antibiotics, repeat, no antibiotics on our farms. And I can say with guarantee, I can invite any one of you to any one of my state-of-the-art farms. We do not, repeat, do not use any antibiotic whatsoever on our farms. And I was telling them that now, because there is a premium on organic or antibiotic-free eggs, as a consumer, people are prepared to pay even twice the cost of an egg if you can certify with credibility that this is antibiotic-free. So there is a niche, there is a segment in the market which wants quality and is prepared to pay higher. In fact, Livestock Development Corporation has brought out a new range of eggs which they certify to be antibiotic free, and they go slightly more expensive than the other eggs. We practice very high standards, and so I don't believe my own labs. We ensure that the eggs produced in our farms are tested by a third party in Bengaluru, and when we get those reports, we satisfy ourselves that there is no strain, there is no residue of any antibiotic anywhere in the egg that we produce. Mr. Madan Maiti and the Poultry Federation of West Bengal have taken great steps over the last few years in educating the farmers and in telling them that if we don't attend to this challenge, ultimately egg consumption may suffer. And if egg consumption suffers, the entire sector will suffer. Eggs are a cheap source of protein. We are continuously encouraging people to move to this affordable source of protein, but their health concerns, including the most important question of antibiotic residues, is something that all of us, particularly the farmers and particularly the investors, have to really address a very, very serious footing. Waste to wealth. I'm talking about the macro schemes that I deal with as an administrator. Now, when we set up these large farms, where each farm is having some 250,000 birds, and there are 5 such farms, in addition to many, many other farms in the state, we are now being confronted with the challenge of waste disposal. So 250,000 birds in a farm, and you have bird litter coming out on conveyor belts. Initially, we tried to dispose it off the traditional way, which is dig up a pit and put it in the earth. But West Bengal has the second highest population density in the country, and we are running out of land. There is no land on which we can just dig empty pits to put litter into it. So we have learnt that this waste is actually wealth, and that it can be produced into wealth. It can generate revenue streams that we have not imagined. So what we have started doing is, in all these 5 commercial layer farms, state of the art, we are setting up, in fact already set up, biomethanation plants. And these biomethanation plants are today, each one of them, processing 175 tons of organic litter into either gas, methane, which is saleable, or into compost, which is fertilizer, which is now going to the farmers' fields for improving productivity in the agriculture. In fact, the West Bengal University has helped us. We have requested the Agriculture University. They have done a clinical examination and given us a certification about this compost that we are producing. And I'm very happy to say that something that was being wasted is now going to the research farms of the Agriculture Department of the Government of West Bengal. So compost is now being utilized on the farms, and we have also called tenders recently for commercial utilization of both this biomethane, the gas that is being produced, and the compost fertilizer, because the quantities are increasing. And these quantities then can be monetized. So if we can sell it in the market, it will only improve and be a win-win situation for all of us. Offals. What do we do with offals? Every time you slaughter a chicken, there are offals. There is a waste product that you have to deal with. There have been issues around the plants because after a point, the noxious odor, the bad smell that comes out of these plants, because offals are not being scientifically disposed of, causes public commotion. You know, people in the localities come out and challenge you and ask you to do something about it because it creates a bad environment. So offals also, we are setting up 4 pilot plants in 4 districts of the state, where as a technology demonstrator, we will demonstrate to the private sector that any large-scale farm where offal disposal is a major challenge, this is the new technology available, and these are the economics, and this is how it performs. Offals management is something that the industry has begun to face. Environmental norms are becoming more and more strict. So the Central Pollution Board, which sits in Delhi, and there is the State Pollution Board, which sits in Kolkata, have been gradually ramping up on the environmental standards, and they are becoming stricter and stricter. So on the one hand, there is a compliance cost. People say that the moment you impose this or that burden on me for pollution reduction, it raises my cost. But I think today we have reached a stage where we say that instead of looking at it as a compliance cost, we should look at it as income generation opportunity. As I said, every waste product will eventually be recycled or can be recycled and made into wealth. That is something that's being discussed today, I'm very happy to note. And carbon credits. Every time that we turn even a kilogram of litter into either gas, biomethane, or into compost, or into other products, we are actually saving or earning the country carbon credits. One of the experts today will talk about climate financing, climate change mitigation financing. There is a whole component in climate financing which talks about our sector and how carbon credits can be monetized and how these waste products being turned into wealth can actually help India's report card on global house or greenhouse emissions. So these are the broad themes that confront us as a sector. I am very happy to be here because, it's good to see that West Bengal is emerging, has emerged on the national scale in the poultry sector as a major player. I'm aware of the National Egg Coordination Committee, I'm aware of the national developments, and I'm very happy to note that West Bengal today plays a very important part in the national level policy making and in the national level decision making, including the pricing of eggs on a daily or a weekly basis. So, congratulations to the West Bengal Poultry Federation, to all the other sectors, to all the other stakeholders of the sector. One suggestion I would like to make, since the esteemed registrar of the West Bengal University of Animal and Fishery Sciences is here, that while obviously we don't expect a house full of people in a session like this, because this is really a technical session and we are discussing science here, we are talking management here, we are talking finance here. It would make a very good sort of value addition if some willing students from the university are given the option of joining this session. Serious students who really want to take to this sector, research scholars, other academicians from your faculty, who will not only learn but will also enrich deliberations here through the question and answers. And I'm sure that in a group of 100, at least 18 to 20 students are there who, if they spend maybe the whole day in this hall, they will emerge richer and they will be able to contribute more to the poultry sector. So I welcome all of you. I welcome all of you who have come here today. Again, I thank the department, all the officers and the staff who work for this sector, and I wish the deliberations success. I'm sure what emerges out from this deliberation today will be the guiding light for us in the years to come. Thank you very much.